How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews. Back a little bit of Neapolitan ice cream hopeful beery goodness in the form of Swamphead Brewing's. It is Doug's Dairy Twirl. This is an Imperial Neapolitan Stout brewed with strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. And the ingredients back here, as per Swamphead. I love the fact that they put their actual ingredients on there. Hops, malt, yeast, water, strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, and lactose. So staying true to that. Not adding... I guess you could... No, because it would say flavoring. So they're staying true to their ingredients. That's always nice. This comes courtesy of my boy, Charles. I've had some Swamphead previously. Actually, the reason why I've had Swamphead previously, I believe a bulk of it actually came from the brewery. Charles actually clued me into Swamphead about almost 4 years ago, and I ended up getting some beers from the brewery, reviewed a couple things, and I believe I had one or two people send me some Swamphead stuff outside of the brewery, but then, lo and behold, Charles started working here, so he, on his own behalf, not via the brewery, ended up grabbing some of the staple beers there, sent this one off, so we're going to dive into it. It's a Neapolitan style stout, which, if it's done right, I will be in the mood for. Let's put it that way. If they're done right, it's actually one of my more favorite adjuncty kind of stout styles. ABV is coming in at 10.5. This is by far and away the largest beer that he sent me off. Canning wise, this is from January 23rd of 2020. This is the 7th of April. This should have no problem with that amount of time on it. And label wise, I'm not going to sit here and say I like this art design. I'm not going to sit here and say I like this kind of graphical whatever direction, but it makes all the sense in the world to me. It reeks of kind of like an old school kind of, what do they call that? Sock hoppy. I forget what they call it though, where you go and the people come out in their roller skates and they serve you at your car. It has that kind of vibe going for it, which reminds me of old school kind of ice cream joints, which reminds me of Neapolitan ice cream, which makes it pretty fucking cool label in my book, to be perfectly honest with you. She looks the part of a stout. I mean, not much of a head on her, but when you're talking about adding a lot of adjuncts, that lactose, vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry to it, you're not expecting a gigantic head to begin with, because all that stuff can kind of kill the head a little bit. So she looks the part of a stout. She's not jet black. She's a bit more brown than anything else. Let's just dive into the nose. I mean, that lactose really does come through. It's not overtly sweet, but it does give me a lot of, like, ice cream vibes. I'm not getting a ton of strawberry. That's the biggest thing on here. It's very faint. It's very light. I'm getting that lactose, and I'm getting a soft kind of cocoa milk chocolate vibe to it. I have a really hard time sometimes discerning in whether eating or tasting or not even just beer, chocolate from vanilla. I know that's a kind of a weird thing, but I've always had that problem in my life. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's gobs of chocolate. I feel like I'm getting chocolate out of it, but more specifically, I'm definitely getting a nice kind of vanilla, which is kind of raised up, propped up by that lactose. And it's not so much that it's strawberry. It's kind of cool. It's like, I spilled it. It's kind of like, I don't know if this actually still exists, but like, when I was a kid, we used to get Neapolitan ice cream because you didn't have like a billion flavors like you have today. And it would always come in that flip-top kind of cardboard box. And, everybody would eat all the chocolate and vanilla, and then there'd just be that kind of, that line of the strawberry in there. And you'd go and you'd grab the box, and then you'd open it up, and there wouldn't be any chocolate or vanilla left, so you'd have to eat the strawberry. When you open that box up, it kind of hits you with this kind of soft, very gentle, kind of frozen ice cream vibe that has a subtle strawberry essence, for lack of a better word, to it. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. So it kind of is making me think of Neapolitan ice cream as a kid, which is the whole purpose, I think, of beers like this. So that's a good thing. Yeah, let's just dive in. Cheers. Yeah, it's tasty. I mean, it gives me exactly what I want. This is one of the well-made ones, put it that way. Definitely getting the chocolate in there. I'm definitely getting the strawberry. It is definitely a third character in here. Actually, oddly enough, the chocolate probably comes to a head. Ends up being the most kind of prevalent kind of flavor in here. I believe that's a lot of chocolate malt in combination with chocolate. I'm thinking that's where it comes from. So you get that nice chocolate. It has a little bit of kind of bittering to it, like a roasted, dark, kind of slightly charred kind of chocolate to it. The vanilla is definitely present. It's probably more vanilla than lactose, and on the nose it's probably that lactose and vanilla, maybe even the lactose kind of leading the way on that one. It's definitely more vanilla in taste, and that strawberry is definitely there. Like I said, it's the third player. It's not as robust as the chocolate, not as big as that vanilla, but it's definitely there. So it's giving all those bits and pieces and whatnot of a Neapolitan ice cream, which is what I really enjoy about it. I mean, that's kind of what it's trying to do, and that's what it's actually doing. And I think that's not to be understated or undersold, is that a lot of breweries trying to sell this is what the beer tastes like. And while it can still be a good beer, it doesn't really taste like that thing. That's not the case with this one. Probably the biggest knock I would give this beer is the mouthfeel. It just kind of leaves me wanting a little bit in mouthfeel. You know, you think of ice cream, you think of lactose, you think of sultriness, you think of creaminess. It's not a super thin beer, but it's thin. Now, you telling me this is a Neapolitan stout that's 6%? 7%? I could almost forgive it, but once you're at double digits, 10.5, eking towards 11, I kind of really need that mouthfeel to come through for me. So if I'm going to sit here and I'm going to not pull punches and kind of poop on it in any form or fashion, it's going to be from a mouthfeel standpoint. Does it detract from the tastiness of the beer? I actually don't think so. But it just keeps it from being like an all-time home run hitter when it comes to this particular style of beer, which is becoming infinitely popular. I mean, I've had Neapolitan stouts from several breweries, and a ton of them from up here in the Northeast. This is definitely one of the better ones. It's just not the best because of that kind of mouthfeel kind of falling by the wayside. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better ones I've had? It still is. It's still a damn tasty beer, and it made me think of Neapolitan ice cream as a kid. That's a good thing. Just the mouthfeel, for me, could be a little bit better. Value and availability, I actually have no idea. Charles or somebody down there in the FL want to let me know what's what when it comes to this beer and how much it costs and where you get it, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like Neapolitan ice cream, you like stouts, you like drinkable stouts, you're not a big hat hanger on mouthfeel, and you just like tasty, adjuncty, confectionery-ish, because it's not overly sweet, so it's drinkable too, which is kind of cool. Kind of stouts. Those are your things, and you'll dig this. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little Neapolitan jam right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.